So I thought I would give you a bit of the garden tour while I water, the indoor anyway. Most of this is still damp enough. So at the end of the season, I take all of the tops of the tomato plants and I just stick them in the ground, and then whatever tomatoes are left ripen up slowly, and sometimes one of those tops will thrive, like that one is, and these ones are. That's a geranium that I just broke off and stuck in the ground, or in a pot. Those are onions coming up, or garlic. Those are onions, green onions. That again is just a tomato top off the top of the plant stuck into the dirt. That one was stuck into the AeroGarden and it has a tomato. That one was grown from seed and it's not thriving because the other one's drowning it out. Basil. Those little garlics that I put in the thing, those little ones that were too small to do anything with. Some green onions that I had cut and used for dinner. Another tomato. That tomato did not thrive. Now we're getting into the light, and I'm going to turn the light off so that you get better colors. Actually, can you see the glistening on that? Can you see how it's got all those little points of glisten? That's aphids. Which I don't know if I can get you in close enough. Yeah, you can see them plain as day. That's aphids. So that needs to be trimmed. That's a basil. That's one of those chives that never thrived. That's a basil that bolted on me this week, so I need to trim it back and see if I can't keep it going. That was a celery top straight from the refrigerator. Cut all the celery and then used the base. That was a tomato that didn't thrive. That's our oregano. It'll winter here. That's a sweet potato that's wintering. Ha! These are tomato tops. It looks like those two thrived. And that one might thrive. Maybe not. Coming back down here. That's a zucchini. I have a goal to grow a winter zucchini. That's a callow or a taro. That's an empty pot I'm using for dirt. These are carrots. Just seeds thrown in. Nasturtiums. They were volunteers at the end of the season, so we brought them in pots and we'll hold them for the winter. A tomato that's not thriving. That's the stevia plant that's over a year old now and will not grow for some reason. That's oregano coming up from a root cluster I threw in. That's a random squash seed I found in the kitchen after cooking. We'll find out what it is later. These are tomato tops that I popped in. Those are those chives that never thrived. They'll go out into the ground tomorrow or next year. That's a ginger. Coming back up here we have the sweet potato. This is my thyme. My thyme loves me. Okay, it's been cut down to the pot base about 3 times now. See how thick and woody that is in there? And it gets huge. That's a garlic. It's at least a year old, so there's a head in there, and it made a second one, which means there's probably a clove in there. I have no idea what the volunteers are. I'll have to pluck them. That's a tomato that might still thrive. These are pepper plants that I'm trying to overwinter to take back out. That's a basil that's barely surviving, and that's a basil that's barely surviving. So me and wintering basil is not working this year. It worked fine last year. These are my geraniums. There's a pot back there. There's a pot there. This is a ginger. There's a ginger down there. There's 2 ginger plants here. These are geraniums. These are basils that did not survive. That is a sweet potato that I'm going to put into a pot, probably that big yellow one, to overwinter. That's a geranium. See, it's as simple as that. You cut it off, you put it in the glass or in the dirt, and it makes roots. That's a geranium that, while it doesn't look like it made it, these leaves just wilted out because I put it in here, and it didn't make it. Okay, sometimes they make roots, sometimes they don't. So, that's the indoor garden. There's a whole bunch of outdoor garden, but I ain't going out there right now. Pretty flowers all winter long. And I'll cut one. I'll come out and I'll take like this, okay, this stem right here to this ball right here, and I'll cut it like right there, and throw it into a glass of water, and it'll bloom on my countertop for a week, and then I'll take the flower off, and then this 50-50, this will sprout roots. And I'll have a new geranium plant. And my goal is to have at least 50 geranium plants by next year so that I can plant them in the flower garden. So yeah, we water with the with the Coca-Colas with holes drilled in the lids. Nothing really needed water. This is my seed stock and some bar glass. This is all my seeds. Those are anise and dill seeds from the garden. That's oregano from the garden. That's anise seeds. That's fennel seeds. Down here, this is thyme that needs to be separated from the branches. That's some green onion. See? All kinds of stuff. That's my dog detailer. We'll go into that another day. Anyway, so what are you doing getting ready for the garden for the next year? Because you plant your seedlings in January, you know that, right? You got 2 months to plan. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.